Hi, I'm Ricky Winfield, and I'll be presenting on Bring Your Own Device, or BYOD. BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device, is a phrase used when referring to an employee that brings personal computing devices, phones, tablets, PCs from home, and they use them to access the corporate information. This is done in four different ways usually. The unlimited access, meaning I can use my device and I can read, write, copy files, save them locally. And then there's access only to non-sensitive data. So I couldn't access anyone's PPI, private personal information, or any sensitive data that may be significant to the company. But I could use it to review a spreadsheet, send an email, some small project tasks. And then there's access, but with IT control over your personal device. This is commonly seen when using Exchange as your email setup. If you ever looked at the web version of your email for your company, if you have it set up with your phone, there's an option in there that says you're able to wipe this device remotely. Many government agencies use that task when an employee no longer with the company and they still have access to the email. And there's access, but local storage is prevented. This is done usually by the company having their information only accessible through certain applications. And within those applications, you make it so that the data cannot be saved locally. Why would they do this? The usual focal point behind this is cost savings. By only bringing my personal equipment to work, I know the company no longer has to foot the bill for a new piece of equipment and to keep that piece of equipment up to date. But this sometimes is a false preconception, because when I bring my own device, later, me as an employee, I may want the company to upgrade my device to something newer because of the wear and tear I use from what I use it for company work. So the total cost of ownership may be greater or equal with BYOD. Productivity. This is accomplished by me being comfortable with the device I'm using and not having to use an enterprise piece of equipment to get my work done. And you may say, well, what difference does the device you're using makes? Well, let's say I come in and I'm used to doing most of my work on iOS devices or Mac devices. If the company is a standard Windows PC type organization, there's going to be a learning curve for me learning how to do things the way that the company uses on their software and their hardware. But by me keeping my personal device, I'm already comfortable with the ins and outs of that device and how to use it. And then there's my personal satisfaction. A happy employee is a good working employee. If I'm overwhelmed with trying to use this new device, or I'm not quite satisfied with what I'm doing or happy with using the device that I'm using, my productivity goes down, which actually costs the company money, because I'm stealing money from them virtually, because I'm no longer working at a pace that's comparable to what the company like to do. How do they implement this? They usually use mobile device management, which is MDM. How that's done is they install a piece of client software on your device, and with that software they can push settings, applications, configurations, and so on and so forth to your device. This is best implemented when the company already holds these devices and disperse those to the employees. That way they're already set up and pre-configured with this additional applications or configurations that is needed to access the company information. Other ways of doing this, which is the most current way, is the mobile application management. That's usually an in-house application that's built and distributed to those who need to access the information via their tablets or their devices that they use. But all the company information is only accessible through these applications, and with that, the company holds the rights to who can have and who has access to the application. So when you walk away from the company, I can have your application revoked, removed from your device, and you no longer have access. Just that simple. And then there's virtual desktops. This is mostly used or happens to be used most often on Windows machines because they have a VDI setup which is already configured. There are additional settings that need to be done for iOS or Mac devices, but this just allows you to access a desktop on a virtual infrastructure that allows you to access the company information. And that is all for this quick presentation. And let's bring your own device.